Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping, and today is July 15th, 2026. I can't believe it's the middle of July already. Time is going very quickly. Well, today I was inspired after breakfast that I had with a friend late last week, and on the spur of the moment, we decided to go strawberry picking. And it was a delightful morning. It's been a lot of high temperatures here. I think that a lot of you are all experiencing that same thing. But that morning was about 74 when we went to breakfast. It got a little warmer when we did our strawberry picking, but there was a nice breeze. So, with that, when I was thinking about today's card making lesson, I decided to use the inspiration of that berry picking event to share a card with you today. As you are joining me, please sign in so I know where you're watching from. And um, if you're on YouTube, you need to be in your YouTube or Gmail account to use the comments to sign in. And if you have any questions about this project, please don't hesitate to write them down, and I'll keep my eye on the comments here so I can answer your questions. So I'll say welcome. Kim, nice to see you. Let me first, when I was picking through some of my old cards to figure out the design I wanted to share today, I came upon this one. Let me get the desktop showing here. And this actually, I think this was the first time around when lemon lime was one of our colors. And this is a really nice embossed front that is using a linen embossing folder. And then this was stamped with the lemon lime and pool party and I think pretty peacock. So gorgeous. And I was also inspired by using this tip and technique to show off a sentiment label a little better. So I'm going to do that as well. And then there's some sequins on here. So let's go ahead and make our card today using that inspiration. So I also got out a retired celebration stamp set called Berry Blessings. Now, there's no strawberries in this set, but I picked a designer series paper that had strawberries on. But I really liked the sentiments here. Wishing you the very best, and you always have a way of making my day. So that's what we're going to use today. I also loved the fact that the designer series paper I found had Poppy Parade as its color for the strawberries, or one of its colors. And so I thought, instead of using real red, because I've been using that on Christmas cards already, believe it or not, that I would use Poppy Parade. So I've got just the regular card base here, 8.5 by 5.5, and then scored at 4.25, which I use my bone folder to create my card base. Then I have some of that designer series paper at 4 by 5.25, and I'm going to use that for my card front here. And just going to put a little glue on here and get that card front on here with a whole bunch of strawberries and a lot of really pretty colors. And then I'm going to use some other patterns. So this is kind of a very simple card design, but I'm using 2 strips of just basic white. And this one is at 2.25 by 5.25. And then the designer series paper is actually 2 inches by 5.25. So I've got that all ready to line up with the card front that I've made from the designer series paper. But before I actually glue this down to the front of the card. I want to actually tie a ribbon around here to be used as an embellishment. And so let's go ahead, and we've just got this panel, but let's make this panel pop by adding a couple of different things. First, I'm going to add ribbon. Now, this ribbon is also retired. It's Whisper White, and it has these felt polka dots on it. So really pretty. I'm just going to attach some of this with a little Scotch tape to the front of this, but I'm going to cut it at an angle because I'll want that when I tie a knot on here. And I'm going to put this kind of a little bit less than halfway down. And then I'll just lay this forward here, grab a little Scotch tape, and secure that to my card panel I'm going to put on here. All right, and the other side as well, trying to have this match up across from one another. Okay, and a little Scotch tape there. Let's see how well we did. Yep, that looks good. All right, now I want to make a knot just in the middle of this. So let me just cut another one at an angle. And I'm just going to slip this underneath here. Maybe. And be able to tie that knot, but I've got to get it underneath here. Let's use my bone folder to just push it underneath that ribbon that's already secured. And I'll just put one part under the other here and make a knot. And I'll pull this, and I'm just going to pull on one side. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to trim this after I secure it to the front of the card and see how much I want to cut off of there. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually, I want to pop this panel up before I'm going to add some additional embellishments and the sentiment. So let me find some of my, oh gosh, I have some parts and pieces here, and that works great to secure the panel. I use the edges of my dimensionals, every piece of this foam, because it all helps pop up the images, and I want to get everything I can out of my supplies. So I'll put one at the top, one at the bottom. Then I'm going to take another side piece here and do this right in the middle. Okay. Well, hi, Kathy. Yes, Smoky, Minnesota, the Canadian fires are coming down our way too. So you're probably feeling them before I will. But they say it is going to be blowing down here and affecting our air quality. So I don't know how many of the rest of you are affected, but let's hope they get those fires put out. All right, so I am just going to put this off to the side a little bit and line it up with the top and bottom of that first card front that I did with the designer series paper. Now let's go ahead and we'll stamp our sentiment here, and I'm going to use Poppy Parade. And I'm going to do the berry blessings, wishing you the very best. And I'm using Poppy Parade to match the card base here and make this pop a little bit. So let's go ahead and put that in place on my scrap that I have of basic white. and set that off to the side. And now I'm going to use my story label punch and punch that out. Just line this up. There we go. I love punches for making sentiments. And then I took a piece of scrap Poppy Parade that I had and punched the same story label out of there. And I'm going to cut this right in half. And then I'm going to frame this sentiment label to just make it pop a little more. So let's just put it on our silicone mat here and get a little glue on each side of that colored cardstock that doesn't have stamping on it. And then line this up. Oops. Got to slide it in place. Thank goodness for the glue. Got a little extra on there. There we go. And then slide this on top of the lower piece. And press that in place. And now that looks a lot nicer. Whoops. I think I put a little too much glue. It's sliding around. Just keep pressing that so that it dries. All right, and then I'm going to flip that over again. And now I'm going to attach the sentiment label half onto my panel and half onto the card. So I only want to put a dimensional on the tail end of that sentiment, and then I'm going to add a little glue to go onto the panel here. So we've got the glue side done, and we'll take our piece of dimensional to go on the other side, and that way it will line up just like I would like it on half of what's already raised by dimensionals, and then raise up this other side so that it's going straight across on the top of my card. All right. And then I want to do a little more decorating by using some of the strawberries that are on this designer series paper. So I've cut out a bunch of them already by fussy cutting. So I'm just going to fussy cut one last strawberry here in case you're not familiar with what fussy cutting is. And that is just cutting around the outline of an image, either that you have stamped, is on designer series paper, you know, something you don't have a die for. And when you're fussy cutting, you move the paper that is either, you know, stamped on or part of the designer series paper, and not your scissors. You just keep your scissors in place because that allows you to have a much more smooth line of cutting. It also makes it, I think, a little faster when you just move the paper. All right, so we have our strawberry cut out. Get all of my parts and pieces off of here. And then let's see how we want to decorate this a little bit. I think I'm going to go with light leaves behind these strawberries. And, ooh, although this one has the dark, let's see. Well, I think that's good. I am going to glue these directly down because I've already got some dimension on here. And if I want to put this in the mail, I want to kind of not go overboard with that. Add that right by the label. And then down here, I'm just going to pop up this last strawberry. So we'll put this down on the lower part here. Get one more dimensional here, or piece of a dimensional. Trying to use up all my, we call them bones, of the dimensionals when we have these scraps. And let's put this one down here. And I think I want to add one inside as well. So let me grab the card insert, and I'm going to stamp that with a little Poppy Parade as well for an inside sentiment. Upside down. All right. And I'm going to use just a little scrap that I have there. Let's see, do I want to? Kind of like just that little scrap on there too. So let's glue that in place. It's amazing what you can do with the scraps. Don't throw them away. Keep them with the matching designer series paper, and you never know what little embellishments you can do. I'm going to put that right down to the corner. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to add this strawberry right to the corner. You know, why throw it away? You paid for it, so get the most out of it, right? Okay, just hold that in place a minute while it dries. And go ahead and get glue on the back here so I can put it inside my card. Oops. All right, so there's the inside and the outside, and I think I'm going to leave that ribbon just as it is. I like where it is. And you know what? Since I happen to have just, I'm going to do this with the berries here and glue this right on my envelope. And there we go. All right, so what is going on with Plum Crazy Stamping? Just want to remind you that if you would put in a $50 order with Plum Crazy Stamping this month, I have the Scenic Coast 4-card free tutorial that I will email to you. Beautiful card ideas. Also, there is a stamp set that you can get if there's a $75 order for only $5 through Stampin' Up, and it's just added onto your order, and that is probably a $20 to $24 value, so it's a great way to get a stamp set at a very good price, and it's a floral stamp set. I don't think I have the information here to show you, but it will be on my online store. And last night I did a class making 16 Christmas cards, and we had a great time. And people are feeling good about getting a jump on their Christmas card making. So if you're interested, you can still purchase that class, and it's available on the video replay. And there's a list of supplies so that you can just follow along and get 16 cards done all at one time. If there are any questions that you have, or if I can help you with your stamping and paper crafting in any way, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. I hope you're having a wonderful week and you find some time to make some happy cards and get happy mail in the mailbox for your friends. Take care, friends. Bye-bye now.